Hey guys, it's Barry B, and today we're gonna be reading Overprotective by Kudeku Mafia UA. And I'm just gonna put the link for this story in the description, and let's just get this started because this is like my 5th time recording this. And yeah, first let's look at the picture, which is really cute. It's just Deku and Bakugo young, and let's just say Bakugo is the cutest right now, and he's acting so cute. Number 1, Izuku Midoriya's POV. I woke up to my mother, shaking me, awake, crying. I, I'm so sorry, Izuku. She wailed and held me tightly. She smelled like cigarettes and alcohol. So I already knew she just came back from wherever she gambled her savings away. What for? I groaned up as I sat up. I, I so, you, I'm so sorry. They said they would kill us both. She kept wailing, apologizing while I repeated her words in my head. She gambled me away. Is this real? I sighed and looked at her. She looked exhausted. Her long, greasy green hair was tied up into a bun, and her eyes had bags under them. She looked awful. Who did you sell me to? It was probably some old perverted drug dealer or something. A mafia boss. She finally calmed down, but wouldn't look me in the eye, and stared at the ground. My eyes widened even more. How much to... I was interrupted by a knock on our front door. Well, that's my answer. Well, that answered my questions. I looked back at my mom and kissed her forehead and answered the door. Izuku Midoriya, 2 young males stood there, wearing suits, one spiky red hair and the other blonde black, with a black lightning bolt dyed into it. Yeah. The 2 were pretty intimidating, since they were both taller than me by a couple inches. We're here to pick you up. I looked back at my mom, and she was crying by my bedroom door. I looked back at the 2 males and nodded. They led me out to a white van parked by the curb. Ironic, I mumbled. They opened the door of the van and I stepped inside. They closed the door and sat in the front seat, the blonde starting the car. Sorry we had to act professional, Midoriya. Boss doesn't like it when we act friendly when we're picking people up. The one with spiky red hair said. I was surprised at how casual his voice sounded. It's fine, I mumbled, staring down at my hand. Well, anyways, I'm Kirishima, and this is my boyfriend Kiminari. The redhead said with a toothy grin. His front teeth were pointy, which made him look like a friendly shark. I nodded. So, are you guys gonna kill me or something? Because a heads up would be nice, I chuckled quietly to myself. What? No, boss just heard your name when he was gambling with your mom, but he wants you at his office, Kirishima said. I was confused. I haven't met a lot of people in my life, besides the people at school. I wonder who it could be. Okay, I said this under my breath, and I looked out the window. Time skip. Brought to you by Midoriya's Innocence. Kirinari and Kirishima led me into a giant mansion. They walked me down very long corridors until we were in the front gate. Double doors. Kiminari knocked on the door 3 times. Come in, I heard a low voice say. Kiminari walked behind me, and Kiri was in front of me. I wasn't expecting who I saw in front of me. Kachan? I was in disbelief. I hadn't seen him since I was 13. His family disappeared without a trace. His face showed no emotion. You may leave, Pikachu and shitty hair. I let out a snort at the nicknames. They rolled their eyes at me and left, closing the door behind them. Kachan sat behind a neat desk and stared at me. I shifted from one foot to another, uncomfortable. Deku? I'm surprised your mother actually agreed to the deal. I looked at him confused. She said you would kill us both if she didn't. I tried to not stutter, but then I was talking because I knew Kachan hated it, or used to. Anyways, when we were younger, Kachan had a look of sadness in his eyes before they were back to his cold expression. Your mother sold you for the money we offered for you. We were never going to kill you or her, Kachan stated. I was shocked. She wouldn't do that, would she? I felt tears prickle that corner of my eyes, but I forced myself not to cry. Kachan sighed. Wait, icy hot, he yelled at the direction of another door that I had noticed until now. Someone with two-tone hair and hydromatic eyes, as well as a burnt scar on the left side of his face around his eyes, opened the door. He rolled his eyes at Kachan. Yes, Bakugo? Take Deku to his room, and I'll talk to him later. Kachan tossed the key to the other male, and he caught it. Come with me, he gestured to me. I walked behind him, leaving Kachan's office. What's your name? I asked, trying to break the ice. Shota Todoroki. Yours? Izuku Midoriya, I responded. Todoroki nodded. Do you know how much Kachan paid for me? No. He hasn't told me yet. After a few minutes of walking, we finally get to my room. Todoroki uses the key to unlock it. He opened the door, revealing a large living area. There were a kitchen with a coffee maker, living room with a TV and a queen-size bed that had green and black blankets across it. I was in awe. I'm living here? I asked in disbelief. Todoroki nodded. I'll be leaving now. Bakugo should be coming soon, he said. I nodded as he left, locking the door. I nodded to myself and spotted the bookshelf with a bunch of books. I picked one out and went to the couch to read. The couch was really comfortable and the book was really good. After what seemed like an hour, I heard the door unlock. I looked up from my book and saw a slip in the clothes. The door behind him. Kachan looked at me and walked toward me quickly and tackled me into a hug. I was shocked. Kachan never opened up or showed affection to anyone. Kachan? Okay, so that was the end of chapter 1, and I said I was going to read 2 chapters, which I am. And I'm going to try to go through because I'm already tired. But first, let's look at the picture.
Too much.
So yeah. It's just a picture of Bakugo fixing his tie and like a small Todoroki that you can barely see. And I'm saying that Deku needs to, because how Deku be tying his ties is not good. Okay. Katsuki Bakugo's point of view. I opened the door to Deku's room and saw him reading on his couch. I missed him so much. I eagerly ran toward Deku and tackled him into a hug. Kachan? I'm sorry I left you, I said, holding Deku tighter. He hugged me back. I've been looking more Deku ever since I started the mafia and his mother happened to come into a bad bet. It's okay, Kachan. Why are you even apologizing, he asked. I pulled the back and looked straight in his emerald eyes. I heard about your ass hat of a father left you without a trace after I left. It's fine, Kachan. I stood up in front of him. Anyways, there was another reason why I paid for you. Another mafia put a hit on you. I saw his eyes widen in fear. But what about my mom? He yelled, standing up. I sighed. How can I tell him that his mother was in on it? Your mother, Inko, somehow found out about it, and during our game, she let it slip. That she was eventually going to kill you. Deku began to shake. I knew she wasn't a dick, but... He started crying, and his knees started to shake. Deku started falling to the ground, but I caught him before he could. He cried into my shoulder, hugging me tighter with every second. Eventually his cries turned into whimpers, and his whimpers even breathing. I slowly got up and placed Deku on his bed, putting a blanket over his body. I sighed and looked over the peacefully sleeping boy. What is he doing to me? I mean, I know my anger isn't as bad as when I was younger, but I'm not this mushy. I left Deku's room and looked at the door behind me. I sighed and started walking to Kirishima's office. I opened the door, not bothering to knock. Shitty hair. I need you to make room in my schedule for at least 2 hours every day to train Deku Midoriya, I stated. Kirishima's been my assistant for a long time now, and I think it's because I allow him to do whatever he wants to a certain extent. He still gets his work done, which is what I'm sorry. Still gets his work done, which is what really matters. Sure, Baku bro. He smiled, and I nodded, walking out of the messy office. I sighed and went back to my office, finishing the rest of my paperwork. Like 5 paragraphs done. Izuku Midoriya POV. I woke up in an unfamiliar or soft bed. I sat up and dazed as I remembered the information Kachan told me and how I cried. I sighed and looked up. Head. There was a knock at the door. Come in, I yelled. Kachan came through the door in black tank tops and his sweatpants. He was holding clothes in his hand. Put these on. He tossed the clothes at me. Why? Because I'm going to train you. I felt myself buzzing inside. I love to train. It calms my nerves. And I'm good at a lot of things when it comes to knives, guns, hand-to-hand combat, and lockpicking. My dad trained me before he disappeared. Now that I think about it, he never told me why. And eventually I got better. Then my dad, he stopped training me because he got tired of he got tired of me kicking his ass. I snapped back into reality and raced to the bathroom. Kachan had given me green shirts that was a size too big, but I found a rubber band and tied it into a crop top. I also given basketball shorts that fit fine around my waist. I came back out of the bathroom. I could see Kachan to a double shape of red. Kachan, are you okay? He cleared his throat and took a breath. Yeah, I'm fine. Let's go down to the training room. He led me out of my room and we walked toward an elevator I never knew existed. Kachan pressed down the button labeled B and closed the door. Do you know what training I'm talking about, Deku? Kachan asked. I nodded and smiled. If it's not, then this is gonna be really boring. I looked up to Kachan, who just chuckled. The elevator dinged, the door opened. I looked at wherever we had got off and saw that I was in a cement hallway with doors scattered apart long distance. He led me to a door that was later gun range. He opened it and closed the door behind him. I could already hear people in the shooting range, and I saw Cammy and the girl with short pink hair shooting at a target. Kachan walked over to the girl. Hiya, boss. The girl with pink hair waved her hands at him. Her yellow eyes landed on me. Oh my god, who's this? She said with a squeal. I swear I could hear a low growl escape Kachan, but I don't question it. I brought him in here to train since he should at least be able to defend himself, I snorted. Kachan, give me a gun, I said. He rolled his eyes at me and handed me a pistol. I looked over at the target and I can't say that word, I'm sorry, I'm just gonna skip it. Until I emptied the clip. It was eerily silent and I looked back at Kachan and the two two were shocked at what as they saw my position. I never missed the target. Damn it, Doria. And I thought you were just as innocent cinnamon roll, Kimari said with a grin. Kachan sighed. Well, then I guess we're on to knives, Kachan said as I grabbed my hand and let me out of the gun range. He took me to another room that was labeled knife throwing. Can you knife throw? He asked. As he walked in, I love knives. I would train with knives more than guns or hand to hand. I snapped back to reality and nodded at Kachan. I took the knife from him. Go stand over in front of the target, I said. He does, as I say. Now, don't move a muscle, Kachan. I knew that if I made it look like I was trying to aim, that he would back out. So I unexpectedly flung one of the knives through the air and laid it between Kachan's legs. As he looked back with shock. What the fuck, Deku? He yelled. I rolled my eyes. Language, Kachan. He walked toward me in long, angry stride and pushed me against the wall. I rolled my eyes. Do you really think I would do that if I wasn't confident in my knife skills? I asked, looking up into his crimson eyes. His anger expression softened and let out a breath. Just warn me next time, he mumbled. I chuckled as he straightened and grabbed my hand, leading me out of the room into a room that was labeled gym. There were mats on parts of the floor and some weight machines used for training. He led me to a mat. Let's see how good you are against me. Okay, I guess that's it because I read like 2 chapters, which is good enough. And I'm just gonna stop here. And thanks for watching, I guess. And I hope you enjoyed this. And I guess I'll read chapter 3 and 4 soon. And there's about like 25 because there's an epilogue chapter. But I'm really excited to read this whole thing with you guys. So yeah, peace out.